Welcome to the Consulting Leaders Podcast, where we talk about the business of consulting. Whether you're looking to grow your practice or learn from the stories of leaders in consulting, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Guillaume Jouvencel, ex-PwC and co-founder of GHA Marketing. Join me as I interview the best consultants in their niche. Let's get on with the show. Cyril, welcome to Consulting Leaders. Happy to have you.
Thank you, Guillaume. Thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here.
It's my great pleasure. It's not always that I get the opportunity to speak to a fellow French speaker. So this one is going to be cool. Let's jump straight into it. Tell us what got you into digital transformation and product in the first place, and what pulled you towards the startup style execution.
Yes, I'm going to try to keep it short and nice. So I discovered internet back in 1995 when I started my engineering school in France, which, as you know, it's like you are usually 20, 21 years old when you start there. And this is really where I discovered the internet. I say, oh, wow, that's going to change the world much faster than what I thought. But I really loved it. So my studies were in automation and mechanical engineering. I graduated, but I never did any of that. I went straight into internet development, internet architecture, and it was fun to be part of the dot-com bubble at the time. And after I went back to my studies, did some business management studies, and moved to the UK. And around the end of the 2000s, there was something like kind of floating in the air, which was like, yes, you have digital or still internet or Web 2.0, what we call it at the time. And as you have all this IT infrastructure, IT projects, and then yes, you have business transformation, the kind of typical consultancy work. But something was like merging the three together, and it's what is now known as digital transformation. At the time, we called it digital business transformation, because it was basically the kind of congregation of the infrastructure, IT, the experience, the consumer at the forefront, the digital, Web 2.0, and the process management, the change, economics, so the business transformation. And when I saw that, and with my background in engineering, in IT, digital, and business management, my MBA, etc., I was able to understand that basically that this was really moving together, and there was a way between all the typical IT transformation, business transformation, and kind of digital agency work, that there was like a place in the middle. So I was one of the few to see that and talk about this. Mr. Bonnet at Capgemini talk about it at Oracle World. I think it was 2012, and this is really where it started to boom. And so this was the start of my digital transformation journey. And what was very different with digital transformation compared to IT or business transformation was that you needed to think in terms of product. When you're in IT transformation, you deploy a solution, and then you have maintenance, then you have evolution, replatforming. It's pretty boring. When you have business transformation, you have, current operating model, future operating model, how do I go from here to there? This is a roadmap. Thank you very much. So in digital transformation, it doesn't really work that way, because you have so many pieces together. So you need to have everything supported by data. So you need to collect the data. Everything is a digital touch point. So, and it was also, just after the launch of the smartphones, so which was quite new also in terms of experience. So you have the laptop, you still have like the kind of professional experience versus the personal experience. There was still like two different worlds. You had the combination of the digital world and the physical world. You may remember some expressions like phygital. We talk about retail with a phygital experience. And of course, the operating model. So what did it bring? So I'm sure you remember banking 20 years ago and how it is now. This is completely different world. And so basically, how do you move from an experience here to an experience there with your IT, your organization, your digital touch points that you cannot control, by the way, because this is whatever Apple, Google, LG, etc. will produce. And so you need to think in terms of smaller bit, so in terms of products. And this is really where I found the kind of agile way on the product notion really connected very well with the digital transformation aspect of what was happening in the business world. And so this is how I ended up in it. And I was quite lucky to play an active role in it, and to work with some clients that trusted me to transform their business, because when it has never been done before, it's very risky. And you know that enterprises don't like risk, to say, oh, we are going to do things differently today.
I like the backstory a lot. So take us to the now, Cyril. What is the number one problem that you help your clients solve?
So today with my typical clients, it's clarity. People don't know what to do. There's too much. There's too much. What used to work doesn't work anymore. And I'm talking in terms of IT solutions, I'm talking in terms of marketing solutions, I'm talking in terms of operating world, I'm talking about in terms of recruitment. What was working 2-3 years ago just don't work anymore. And people come to me and have questions or ideas, and I say, I don't work with ideas, I work with problems. So what is your problem? And this is the first phase of what I do with my client is that really a problem? And you know that consultants, this is what we spend a lot of time to do, is to really understand the problem or the root cause of the problem. But right now we are at a phase, because AI is changing the world, that a problem today may not be a problem tomorrow. And something that works perfectly well today may become a problem tomorrow. And you have this notion of going fast. But if you go fast, usually it means that, especially if you are in the business or enterprise world, it means that it usually doesn't go well. So how can you go fast, address current problems in such a manner that what works today will still continue to work tomorrow, and yet you fix what needs to be fixed? If I can use an analogy, is basically, how do you try to fix a car when the car is, on the road?
That is a good one.
And it's very tricky right now. It's very tricky. It's going to stabilize at one point, but it's not now. It's not 2026 for sure. So yeah, good luck to every decision maker in the world right now.
I like this because I think it's so IT obviously more true than in any other industry, but because IT is so prone to disrupt any industry really, because now everything relies on IT, everything relies on SaaS, everything will very soon rely on AI. It's very troubling times, but also full of opportunities, because this is when things arise. So before we get into how you get the attention of the right people, Cyril, which I think is going to be particularly interesting for this one, tell us who the right people for you is. Like, who is it that you're after? Who is your ICP, and who are the decision makers?
Okay, so at Growth Debunked, so where I work with my co-founder Emily, so we work on 2 ICP. So the first one is B2B tech startups who are usually in Series B and C, and where they focus from growth at all costs to profitability at all costs. So this is where we have an offer, a strong offer, where we work with account management team and customer success team, not just like training, but also in terms of processes and toolings. And we are also developing a platform to support them to transition and reach 100% plus net recurring revenue. And the second offer on which I'm deeply involved is supporting wannabe entrepreneur. I don't say startupper, but usually, typically, ex-enterprise person, ex-corporate profile who have a strong expertise, but who has no technical knowledge at all and don't know where to start, but they know that basically the market needs their solution. And so before trying to raise money or getting attention from investors or investing too much money in platform, they need a kind of functional pilot, like a real IT solution that is more than good enough to demonstrate the product, the value of the product. So we are not talking here about a no-code solution such as Bubble.io or something built on Go high level, something like this. It's really usually I use a Google Cloud platform, GCP, with some N88 for the automation in the background, with some Airtable possibly from time to time. But basically, it's a real solution. It's not designed to be scaled, but it's designed to work and to demonstrate the value. And what we do three things. The first one is ensure that there is really a problem to fix. This is the clarity that I came earlier, that say, I've got an idea. Yeah, well, me too, I have an idea. That what's your problem? What do you try to fix? Then we try basically to address and to design the solution. So for this, I ask my clients to come with 3 to 5 kind of ideal customers that they have in their network that basically will help us to design and validate the assumptions we are going to make during the project. Then, of course, we have the development, then the launch, and the last phase, the growth, where we scale. So this is basically what I've been doing today. So shifting from enterprise working on 10 million plus digital transformation project, some project could last several years, to something that is like far more like, at the end of the month, what can I get? I want to launch something at the end of the month. I want to validate my assumptions, my ID, my market. Have I answered your questions? I know I've been from...
Which is what I like with podcasting. We go wherever the conversation takes us. So yeah, you've 100%, I'd even say 200% answered the question, because you have 2 ICPs. And my follow-up question is, so we like to talk about the business of consulting, right, on the show. Those are 2, so let me rephrase. 1, I like the clarity that you yourself have on your ICPs, which would be ironic if you weren't, because you offer clarity. That's literally the thing that you help people with. When I look at the 2 ICPs, so B2B tech startups, Series B, Series C, so like rather advanced, right? They have the product market fit, and now they're trying to go to market and like grow at all costs. Versus wannabe entrepreneurs, those are 2 radically different ICPs. Mm-hmm. How have you, together with your co-founder Emily, how have you chosen to go after those 2 very different ICPs?
Okay, so basically with Emily, we know each other for a very long time, and basically like she had some time, I had some time right now to work on a common project, but we come from like a bit 2 different worlds, and so basically we decided to kind of merge and build Growth Debunked around these 2 ICPs. Yes, one is more prominent. It's definitely the B2B tech scaling business. That's because of the size, because of the number of people you need to train, and because of the platform. That's a bigger business than building and shaping a platform, a technical platform with entrepreneurs. But my entrepreneurs I work with now, I hope that in a couple of years' time, I will help them to scale in their Series B and Series C. So, like I'm hopeful, you know.
That is super interesting. That's a huge gamble. Um, but I mean, at the same time, if you're getting paid to help those people at the first stage, it's just like I suspect lower tickets and like trying to stack the chips for you, and then you find them back. It's interesting. It's the strategy of one of my mentors, Alex Hormozy, who is like putting content out there for like people to build their business, and years from now they will have built something that is worth investing in. This is where the real money is. That's a very interesting strategy. Tell me a bit more about how you get the attention of those either B2B tech startups, just raise Series B, Series C's. I'm going to assume CEO, CTO, maybe, the people who get you in, and how you get or is it not?
No, usually you have also another CROs who play a big role. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. So how do you market? How do you brand? How do you, educate, make your ICP problem aware, solution aware for the first ICP and the second? How does your marketing mix look like?
So I'm going to start with the second ICP, which is
sounds good.
The
wannabe entrepreneur.
It's lead gen, so it's mainly social media, and they find me, and also word of mouth. That's how it works. I can't take many of them at the same time. I'm very limited in terms of my capacity, the bandwidth. So I don't need many of them. Okay, maximum I work with 2 at a time, because otherwise of the context shift, it's not doable. Regarding the B2B tech startups, well, we work recommendations. So we have networks and we are looking for recommendations. We use a lot of content gen. So Emily is strong on content gen and creating a lot of valuable content and resources, LinkedIn, etc. Speaking engagement too. She does a lot of speaking engagement. And also course. So what we try to do is start with a low ticket before moving to the higher ticket. So basically we have developed a collection of courses to get the potential not decision makers, not the payers, but people who are going to be trained to get a course. I think we are at $47, if something like this, to give a taste, basically, in order to get them after to the medium ticket, which is around $1,000, and after you have sur mesure the tailored offer and the higher ticket offer. So I'm sure that as a mentee of Alex Hormozy, that will
speak to some bells. Yeah. I can relate to this. Yeah, that's a good tactic. So attracting people with a low ticket offer, upselling them, as long as of course they get value from the first ticket and then the higher one. So that's for the wannabe, right?
That was the B2B sales.
That was the B2B sales. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we discussed marketing and offer here. So marketing, speaking engagements, social media, and word of mouth.
Yeah.
Then the offer is low to medium tickets. How do you sell, Cyril?
How do you sell? So there is one thing that I used to love, which was to make ads on Twitter, and it was a killing.
Dang.
Yeah, no, it was probably the most profitable things I've done. But right now, Mr. Musk just destroyed the platform, and everybody has gone away. So this angle is no, this option is no gone. So how do I sell? Mainly word of mouth, my network recommendations. This is I'm lucky because I get a constant flow of work, but at the same time, it means that in terms of scalability, it's not exactly in my hand, and I know it's a weakness I need to fix, is to develop my go-to-market and strategy and get not rely on word of mouth and recommendation, because maybe one day that will stop.
I mean, preaching to the choir here, I often talk about referrals only marketing strategies. In a sense, there is nothing wrong with that. I think 80% of B2B coaches and consultants rely mainly, if not only, on referrals.
Mm-hmm.
The question just becomes one, there is a risk. Like, what happens the day you don't receive a referral and you're in that feast and famine cycles? That's one. But the more, when it becomes more of a pain point, it's when people are looking to scale. Like, you cannot scale when you're just relying on other people bringing you business, unless you have, and Alex talks about this a lot, like referral networks. Like, you can stimulate this and build referrals networks, but we like to have 1-2 acquisition channels with B2B coaching and consulting businesses. Again, it's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a reflection of the good work that you're doing, right? If people talk about you, it's likely because they got results from you. So that's also a very good thing. Tell me a bit more. So that's how people get to you, right? But I'm a bit curious to understand your, because this is a very interesting technique, like Twitter ads, never heard of it. So tell me how you go through the sales motion, Cyril. So you got someone's attention previously from Twitter ads, now from referrals and word of mouth mainly. What happens? Is it a LinkedIn page with like a, an opt-in, and then you're getting into a group? Is it, I need to talk to you? There is a first call, second call, whiteboard session, plan, SOW, letter of engagement. Like, what does the sales motion look like?
Okay, so you have two options. So if you come from kind of recommendations or referral, usually people book a call with me directly. So access to a calendar, we have a chat. Otherwise, I use lead magnets in order to get potential clients, prospect leads that I promote on social media. So I have some, they focus on, I have different lead magnets because, even if I have one ICP, you have different pains that you need to address. So one aspect can be how to launch my funnel marketing. What do I need to focus on? I'm going to launch my funnel marketing. What do I need to check? Stupid things such as, have you really clicked on all the links on your page? Have you checked the 5 icon? Have you checked how your funnel looks in mobile or tablet? All this kind of stuff. So just checklist, and it works quite well. So that's an aspect. After you have other aspect around A/B testing. That's also a popular thing. What do you need to A/B test in a funnel? So that also works quite well. But usually the sales cycle is a bit longer when you go via the lead magnet, because you send the lead magnets and you need to come back to follow up, and I have a very soft touch in terms of sales. I say, I don't try to force you to get in a call with me, whatever. I know that especially around funnel marketing and building MVP, it needs to be at the right time. I'm not going to force feed you a funnel marketing and MVP. So I just want to be sure that you keep my name in mind for when you are going to be ready. That's how I work in terms of the sales cycle.
I like this soft touch approach. I think there is pros and cons to that, obviously, but it's it needs to be a reflection on your business and how you do business, and I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's interesting because you're the school of Hormozy as well, I think, or at least you know what he's talking about. Tell me about your follow-ups. Like, someone downloads a lead magnet. What's the pathway for them to book a call with you? The reason I'm asking this is, I'd say 3 in 4 people I talk to are like, yeah, lead magnets don't work anymore. Lead magnets are dead. And I'm like, no, you're right on the fact that some lead magnets don't work, specifically the bad ones. Like, bad lead magnets for sure don't work anymore because people have seen that already. Great lead magnets get crazy traction. But then the job is half done, right? There is, as you just said, some follow-ups to be done, some nurturing to then be like, hey, I've noticed that you've been opening my emails for the last 2 weeks and it seems to be bringing some help because you're clicking. Like, what can I do? How can I help? Would it be worth a chat? How do you articulate the follow-up sequence on your site, Cyril?
I'm very much one-to-one in terms of my communications. I don't have a big list. So if you receive an email from me, it's highly personalized. I know you. Okay. It's not on the list and I have changed the name, the first name on your company name. And, no. If I contact you, I know you. I follow you on LinkedIn. I know what you posted on Twitter. I know you. So my follow-up strategy is really, I only come to you if I have something to say or to add. Not to say, hey, I'm here, buy from me. No, don't do that. Once again, I'm lucky that I don't need to have many clients at the same time. So I can choose with who I want to work. And I choose only people to which I can add value, one. And two, which I'm sure as a former consultant, you understand that people you will enjoy working with.
Yeah.
That's also very important.
And I'm discovering that more and more in my own business indeed. I like that. Tell me a bit more about, so those people you end up working with. When I was, as you said, a consultant myself, the partner who taught me everything, maybe you've heard this story on the episode you've listened to. The partner who taught me everything was like, Guillaume, there are two types of consultants out there. There are the hunters and the farmers. And he was like, I'm a hunter. I love the smell of fresh blood in the morning. I love to go after new business. That's my job. And he was like, and like, it's not like good or bad. It's either or, but like both are excellent. And he was like, but the partners growing the fastest, the ones bringing in the most money and therefore making the most money are the farmers, the ones who are able to take that initial engagement, over-deliver, transform it into a multi-layered, multi-year project, feeding other teams from the firm. Like, those are the real deal. How do you farm, Cyril?
I farm by, it's going to be cliche, but by providing value, more value than what the clients expect. So if a client expects a funnel and an MVP, we are going to do a funnel and MVP, and I'm going to prepare different variants and A/B testing for the funnels. And I'm going to say to set up the analytics in the MVP so that we know and we understand exactly how the users use the tool without the customers having to ask me or to tell me, oh, what's the next extra? I say, no, I take care of that. This will tell us what to do next. And if we know what to do next, I'm very likely to get the next business. So, it's very cliche to say, oh, you need to provide more values than what the customer expect. Contractually, you don't have to. Yeah. Okay, let's be frank. If you provide also sometimes more value to the customer, they will be overwhelmed. They risk that they have more questions. And so be careful not to open a can of worms by providing more value. You really need to understand your client. Well, firstly, do they really need it? And what this value is going to lead you to. If it's to your future job with them, perfect.
Amen to that. A bit of a curveball for you, Cyril. What's your number one challenge? What's the nut that you're, trying to crack? And once you crack, you're going to take either the whole thing to the next level if that's the goal, or, achieve the next step of your business. Like, what's your number one challenge right now?
Number one challenge is, and we touched about this earlier in the conversation, is everything is changing. Everything is changing, so I need to change. My customers are changing. The way we sell to them is changing. And it's overwhelming, that, having constant experimentations to understand what works, what doesn't work anymore. So that's one aspect of, one of the current challenge. The second challenge is customers' education. They are also overwhelmed by informations about how to launch their startups, their platform, how to reach their customers. For example, the lead magnet, as you mentioned earlier, lead magnet don't work anymore because right now they're mainly generated by AI. But if you have a focus, for example, a really focused checklist for a particular process, platform, tool, that will work because people will open the Google Sheet or the PDF, because they know that the checklist is short, so they don't have to invest time, and there will be always something for them in it. So educating clients takes more and more time before they sign up and before they are confident that, yes, this is right for me. They hear, oh, but why can't I use a no-code solution? Why can't I use Go High Level? Why can't I use WordPress with some extensions, whatever? And you need to explain why, even if it's not your job, because I have my own tech stack. It takes a lot of time. I think this is something that's going to continue and to expand because more and more is happening and less people know, or maybe worse, the things they know, like, what is the difference between a LLM, or a RAG, what is agentic AI versus a workflow AI. So like so many things, and people think they know, but they are very different. And I'm not here to explain all the time. I like to explain to my customers, but when people have the wrong ideas or the wrong solutions in mind, it takes a lot of time to unplug, if I can say, the bad informations, and sorry for the bad word, but re-educate them in a sense, because it takes time, and time is money. So where do I spend time? It's challenging. This is probably the biggest challenge, and it's going to take a couple of years before I think there is a kind of common understanding about, what AI has done in our businesses or startups, that basically we have a kind of consolidation in terms of platforms, in terms of education, vocabulary, terminology. It's very important that, if I use the word banana, that you understand what is a banana. With AI, etc., we are not there yet where we have a kind of common terminology, except the experts, the PhD level, where they understand their conversations. But I would say 99% of the people don't have this level of mastery during this conversation. So that's the challenge right now.
I like that. Well, I like that it's a good challenge to solve, not that you're challenged by that, Cyril.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for sharing this. This was Cyril Coste, ladies and gentlemen. Cyril, if people want to find out more about you, see what you do, where should they go?
They should go on growthdebunked.com, and they will find a button to contact me directly.
Clear, simple call to action. No wonder you help with clarity. We'll put all the links in the description. For what I'm concerned, Cyril, you've gained at least one connection out of this interview. Me, I just added you on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for coming on Consulting Leaders.
Thank you, Guillaume.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Consulting Leaders podcast. We hope you learned valuable lessons on how to grow your practice and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.